11.23 is jam-packed with crazy new item and rune changes, so we're super excited to share with you 10 of the most OP setups that have emerged. Our analysts have been hard at work researching and collecting data so that you guys can abuse the best new builds before everyone else. In our itemization guide, we told you guys to watch out for lethal tempo Tryndamere. Our expectations were high, but it turns out they weren't high enough. Tryndamere shot up to holding around a 53% win rate, which puts him in the upper echelon stat-wise for top lane champs. Lethal Tempo is just absolutely perfect for Trynd, as he relies heavily on dealing the majority of his damage from auto attacks. The stacking attack speed allows you to eat away at the enemy's health bar, shredding them to pieces in no time. Extra range at max stacks is quite valuable as well. Now, despite Trynd's powerful standing, he still has his difficult matchups, so if you're looking to pick him up, banning one of Teemo or Malphite is a good idea. Teemo blind is so annoying to deal with, while Malphite attack speed slow is the same in that regard. For a complete rundown of the rune page, grab Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Optimal secondaries are Second Wind and Unflinching. As for the build, Kraken or Gale Force can be interchanged for rush items. Kraken works best against tankier low mobility comps, while Gale Force is best into squishier mobile champs. Second item is Navori Quick Blades into an Infinity Edge third. Jayce play rate has absolutely skyrocketed due to all the arcane hype, so if you're looking to pick him up, there's a new setup you need to be aware of. Conqueror and Phase Rush are still the most popular rune choices for Jayce, while First Strike is outperforming both. First Strike is a brand new rune that allows you to farm gold off your opponents. Every 25 scaling to 15 seconds, you can proc First Strike, which lasts for 3 seconds, and during that window, the damage you deal to your opponent is amplified by 10% while the bonus damage is awarded to you in gold. As a ranged character, Jayce has the opportunity to consistently proc First Strike in lane, especially in melee matchups. Not only will you deal more damage during your trades, but you will gain that extra gold to scale to your mid-game spike much faster. Jayce is all about the early to mid-game, so First Strike ties into that theme extremely well. Full rune page is First Strike followed by Freeboots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are up for debate right now, but Sorcery with Mana Flow and Transcendence are leading to the greatest results. For the build, you will rush an Eclipse into Manamune second and Youmuu's Ghostblade third. Eclipse buffs combined with the First Strike addition has lifted Jayce back into a strong state for 11.23. So far from what we've been able to gather, Winter's Approach is an average item on many champions besides Ornn, who's a cut above. Key aspect of Winter's Approach that allows Ornn to thrive is the fact that passive shield, once upgraded to Fimbul Winter, procs off slows or immobilizing effects. Ornn Q and passive are both very easy to consistently land throughout a fight, which offers up superb value for Fimbul Winter shield. The luxury of infinite mana is a nice perk the item provides as well. Ornn passive allowing him to shop anywhere on the map is actually huge for the tier stacking aspect. As soon as you have 400 gold, instead of needing to base, you can immediately grab tier and propel yourself into that Fimbul Winter spike super quick. The order in which you purchase Winter's Approach is less set in stone right now, and it's actually winning at a very high rate as a rush item. Winter's Approach into the buffed Frostfire Gauntlet second is a very unique build we would recommend to try. Glacial Augment is a really interesting rune choice for Ornn too. It's leading to more success than Grasp for 11.23, and we can understand why. Just like Fimbul Winter passive, Glacial is extremely easy for Ornn to proc, which makes it very valuable. In melee matchups, running Grasp or Spellbook is still viable, but into ranged picks is where Glacial will be a go-to option. If you guys watched our recent tier list, we theorized that Rengar would perform extremely well with an Axiom Arc Rush, and that's exactly what's played out. Axiom is outperforming every mythic item for Rengar, as it works way too well with his ultimate. For those of you who don't know why Axiom is so strong, its passive reduces your ultimate cooldown by 25% on champion takedowns. The idea behind the build is that you storm in with ult, clean up a kill or two, and then almost immediately have your ultimate back up to rinse and repeat. Rengar is 10 times the champion with ultimate available, so it's almost as if the item was built for him. The snowball potential is completely unheard of with Axiom, and for an assassin like Rengar, that's exactly what he wants. Full build consists of an Axiom Arc Rush into Duskblade second and Ghostblade third. Now, it's not just the build that's underrated either. New First Strike rune is super sleeper on Rengar, as the potential gold generation is massive. As a jungler who likes to skirmish and can play for invade paths, Rengar can get great use out of First Strike early on. More early gold means a faster Axiom Arc purchase, so the synergy between the two is insanely strong. As a burst assassin, the amount of gold you can generate once you pick up an item or two is pretty crazy. With First Strike, you have a 3-second window to collect gold, And because Rengar is no problem at all bursting targets within that time frame, it works great. Take note, you also run Futures Market in runes to hit that item spike even faster. What do you guys think of Axiom Arc so far? It's an interesting concept, but seems a little broken for select picks. If there are any other champions you think are busted with the item, be sure to let us know in the comments below. One of the most broken junglers for preseason who will be moved up on our next tier list update is Master Yi. Just like Tryndamere, the lethal tempo changes have single-handedly turned Yi into an absolute unit. 90% attack speed when fully stacked combined with the extra range provides you with a disgustingly strong extended skirmish. On crack and completion with lethal tempo maxed out, you have immense dueling potential. Besides lethal tempo buffs, the Scuttle Crab changes are actually massive for Yi too. He's not a jungler who wants to skirmish heavily throughout the early game in a lot of matchups, so the fact Master Yi isn't punished for not contesting crabs now is huge. Yi can happily do a full clear and keep pace with the enemy jungler. The stars are aligning for Master Yi in preseason, and as a result, he's one of the best junglers to add to your arsenal. The complete rune page is Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Run Eyeball Collector and Ravenous Hunter for secondaries. Core build is a Kraken Slayer Rush into Rageblade second, rounded out with Hysterics or Wits End third. The brand new mage item Crown of the Shattered Queen is performing very well on select mid lane picks, one being Kassadin. Base stats on Crown are identical to that of Everfrost, while the passive is where things differ. Although Everfrost will deal more damage and provide you with stronger lockdown, Crown passive turns your 1v1 power godlike. It's quite simple, as you will reduce incoming damage by 75% for 1.5 seconds after taking champion damage. Originally, the damage reduction was 50%, but Riot actually ended up buffing it to 75%, which is insane. Think about it this way, you're at a 2-item spike of Crown into Archangels and are sitting in the side lane. You wait patiently for the enemy champion to walk up and then pounce on them with Crown passive active. The correct play for the enemy champion would be to tag you with an auto attack and then wait 1.5 seconds to use their full combo. If they combo while you have 75% damage reduction, they'll barely even tickle you. By this time, if you're a fed Kassadin, 1.5 seconds is all you need to burst the enemy out. Crown passive makes it so that the enemy has no chance at all to fight back, and by the time they can deal damage, you've likely already killed them. With Archangels and Seraphs buffed as well, Kassadin is one of the best mid laners and likely shifts into OP tier for our next tier list update. Complete build to run is a Crown of the Shattered Queen Rush, followed by Archangel second and Zanya's third. Rune page is Fleet Footwork with Presence of Mind, Tenacity, and Coup de Grace. Taste of Blood and Ultimate Hunter are the best secondaries. We've covered the potential of First Strike on a few picks already, but one mid laner who's extremely underrated with it right now is LeBlanc. The rune makes perfect sense for LeBlanc as she wants to trade aggressively early in lane and can therefore gain a ton of value out of First Strike. Especially in melee matchups, you will be able to proc First Strike as soon as it's off cooldown almost every single time, which will add up huge throughout lane. Don't get us wrong though, Electrocute remains a great option and will suit you best in range matchups where you can't consistently proc First Strike. Some diversity definitely feels good though, as Electro has been the cookie cutter setup for ages on LeBlanc. Full rune page to run is First Strike with Freeboots, Biscuits, and Time Warp Tonic. Secondaries are Mana Flow and Transcendence. We're not finished yet though, as there is a new build you have to try out. We talked about this one in our item guide, being a Luden's Rush and a Shadow Flame second combined with Sork Shoes. Magic Pen is off the charts with this core and provides LeBlanc with the one-shot power she wants. Cosmic Drive is still viable for LeBlanc, but the new passive isn't as impactful for the champion. Passive on Cosmic grants you 20% movement speed and 40 AP after you hit the enemy with 3 separate attacks, which is a bit counterintuitive. As a burst mage, LeBlanc wants that upfront damage that Shadow Flame provides, instead of the backloaded power from Cosmic. Drop Conqueror immediately and start spamming First Strike on Ezreal. At the time of making this video, over 50% of players continue to run Conqueror on Ez, while First Strike is heavily outperforming. Win rate discrepancy between the two is off the charts, as First Strike is winning a whopping 5% more. If you were around a few seasons ago, I'm sure you remember the Kleptomancy meta for Ezreal, and First Strike brings a similar taste. Ezreal is a champion who comes online the hardest with item spikes, so First Strike granting you bonus gold accelerates your ability to complete Trinity and Manamune. Access to free boots is another big perk to running the setup, as you're saving even more gold that can go towards your core build. Another very interesting thing to note build-wise for Ezreal is that Axiom Arc slotted in third is leading to great results. The 25 haste from Axiom is a stat Ezreal loves, and combined with the passive reducing ultimate cooldown on kills, you can spam it out very frequently. All in all, a very powerful setup that cannot be ignored for preseason. A support always flying under the radar who becomes a top tier pickup for preseason is Rell. Even Shroud is completely busted with Rell's kit, while the Glacial Augment rework is the cherry on top. Rell WCC is very easy to land, which means you're guaranteed to proc both Even Shroud and Glacial when engaging. The slope from Glacial makes it impossible for the enemy to dodge stun from E, which enables you to lock them down with ease. Due to the Even Shroud passive, your ADC will be dealing extra damage to the opponent, while the enemy deals less damage to your teammates thanks to Glacial passive. If you're unaware, the Even Shroud passive provides your teammates with 12% increased damage on targets you immobilize, while Glacial reduces the enemy's damage by 15%. As you can imagine, this combination makes your 2v2 skirmish ridiculously strong. A second item, Zeke's Convergence, provides even more damage potential, while a Ward Stone slots in third. The complete rune page is Glacial Augment with Hex Flash, Minion Dematerializer, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are Bone Plating and Unflinching. Would the video really be complete if we didn't have a First Strike feature for every single role? To be quite honest, we didn't see this one coming, but First Strike Zyra is popping off at the start of 11.23. It makes a whole lot of sense though, as Zyra can consistently proc the rune whenever it's off cooldown to generate a ton of extra gold. Long range from Q and E combined with plant damage gives Zyra many avenues to proc First Strike. The entire rune page consists of First Strike with perfect timing, biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Optimal secondaries are Mana Flow and Scorch. Build is nothing new as you'll continue to rush Liandry's and Dazania second and Demonic Embrace third. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you are serious about improving. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. Good luck with all these new setups, and we will catch you back soon.